For Alarm Will Sound's second video chat variations, the entire ensemble gathered in remote locations all around the country, while composer Tyshawn Sorey, from a studio all by himself in Philadelphia, led us in the creation of a real-time composition. Tyshawn watched and listened to the entire ensemble over video chat, and through hand signals and his own cue cards, Tyshawn guided us in creating this music in the moment. I spoke with him right after the performance. Hey Tyshawn, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very exhausted. It's quite different compared to doing this physically with everybody in the band right in front of you, but it was also very challenging. But, I appreciated that, and it was really fun nonetheless.
Yeah, so, we've done a couple of these Autoschediasms pieces with you, and this is the first time we've done anything like this remotely, with, the players in different places, you in a different place. What's that experience like for you, trying to connect with the players and leading this process from far away like that?
From a technical standpoint, it's very challenging, because there were a few times during that experience where folks' cameras have gone out, but then I would still kind of hear them playing, so it was very hard to get certain players' attention whenever I needed them to do certain things. I had to figure out other ways to kind of get around the situation musically to make it work in my best interest, or our best interest. I mean, all of the players really managed to serve the music in the best way possible, given the current situation. So from the technical standpoint, it was definitely a very challenging experience, and it was also musically challenging too. Just certain decisions that normally I would feel like making, it wouldn't be within the possibility, given the technical constraints that I'm facing. It was definitely sort of exhausting finding the right decisions to make and then, sticking to those.
Oh, say a little more about that. What were the kinds of decisions that you could make here that you wouldn't make, in a live situation?
When I'm working live with all of the musicians on the stage with me, I can make interesting player combinations, out of the whole ensemble, usually at a very, very quick pace. But it was much harder to do that in this scenario where I would have to hold certain cards for certain people in a certain pod. Then I would have to put down the cards and then go to another group of players who I want playing along with players from another pod. Also, there was the problem of latency in the computer for Wisconsin and South Carolina, where there were a few times where it seemed like I was lagging behind the players. And so anytime I would ask them to perform a specific action, it would take a while before they did it.
Yeah, this is the second of these video chat variations pieces that we've been doing, and we've been workshopping others. And it's the artistic challenge is dealing with the delay. Do you think that pushed the music making in any particular sort of direction?
Sometimes, when we're in the studio, when we're in different studios, the tendency is to then want to play a little bit more tentatively than the way players would play if they were with each other in a room. And not only that, but also with an audience in the room. There were times where I felt like I had to express to the players, to basically play the same way as though you were all in the same room together making music. It's very hard psychologically to get into that, but I think what's most important is still, or what should remain the case, is that we still trust each other. Even if mistakes are made, we have to find a way together to come out of that experience, together, and to make something musical out of it.
It's interesting. It's a situation that I feel like we as musicians run into when we go from playing on stage together to recording in a studio, which is that the studio setting inherently makes people feel more exposed, more on their own, more sort of vulnerable.
Right.
And I think you had to really push to overcome that and encourage people to play the way they would play as if there was an audience out there, and if they weren't in the studio. And it was very cool to see where you and the band got with that. Like, I feel like by the time we did it, people were giving an enormous amount of energy, and there was this kind of like organic development that happened as people were giving you their ideas, and you would respond to them and take the piece in a different direction.
Yeah, I felt that a lot, definitely, from everybody in ensemble. I think they really gave, 1,000% to the whole situation. It almost felt like as though we were in a room together, given the amount of energy that they all put in and the how much they value this process of composition.
Well, we really value getting to work with you on this, Tyshawn. So thank you.
It was great. I had a blast. Thanks so much again.
My pleasure.